Hello everyone, my name is Phil and welcome for another painting tutorial. In this video we are going to see how you can mix acrylic and oil. Let's do this. So let's be very clear, when I say mix acrylic and oil, I mostly mean how you can use acrylic for an oil painting, sort of as a complement in sort of preparation. And the first question is, why would you even want to do that, right? Well, there are several reasons, but the two main reasons why you might want to use acrylics in preparation for an oil painting are the two most valuable benefits of acrylics, being fast drying time and being a water-based paint. See this painting right here? I had to use a lot of black for this painting, but I wanted the background to be extremely dark and not to have any transparency at all. So what I did was I first put a lot of acrylic ivory black sort of as a preparation for the canvas before, and when it's dry I put the oil on top of it, because the oil is a lot more glossy. I would not have the same, sheen with acrylic. It would be like way too matte. But the fact that there's a completely black underpainting sort of assures me that the background is going to be very dark, very intense, which allows me to create a very intense dark background like this. The problem with ivory black is that it's very absorbent and drains all the oil, and for that the acrylic underpainting is really a great benefit. So every time you plan to do an underpainting with a pigment that you're not really sure about, like you want something very specific, I don't know, an ultramarine underpainting. Maybe you're not sure about the drying time, you don't want to have issues with drying. Well, in that case, just pick up an acrylic paint and use that as an underpainting. You can even create the blocking with acrylic. Some people do that. So when I use acrylic, which is very rare, I don't do that very often anymore. But when I do, I usually just create a large wash of acrylic and I let it dry in a couple of minutes, hours, and yeah, generally it's enough. The second benefit of acrylics is that it's a water-based technique, meaning that you can use water. And let's say that for when you need to prepare things, I don't know if you can see there, I had some drippings for this painting. They're in the end the painting, and let's just say that if I had to use mineral solvent for that, I would need to go outside, because I use so much to create these dripping effects that, well, it would just create a lot of fumes if I just used solvent, because I used a lot. So instead what I did, because I was using acrylic for the underpainting, what I did was just let the water do the work. It could also be a good idea to use an acrylic underpainting if you had some very strong impastos, so you can create very big impasto, a lot of texture for the underpainting, and then with your oil you go over this impasto and give it some color. That's something you can do as well. So using acrylic can be a very useful technique, especially when drying time is an issue, when you need to create the weird textures that acrylic is really good at. When you want to create that, well, go for acrylic and don't hesitate to let it dry and cover it with oil later, and you can be very creative mixing the two. Now, there are some things that you're absolutely not supposed to do. The first thing is just mix them wet on wet. That's a no-no, big no-no, but I'm sure you know that. You're not supposed to mix them. They are not they don't go together, because just water and oil, they don't go together, they don't mix. So it's impossible to mix them. Well, you can mix them, you can force them, but well, this is going to be a catastrophe. What you should always do is have the acrylic on the bottom and the oil on top, and never the opposite. Nothing water-based can be applied on top of an oil-based paint layer. You can add as many acrylic layers as you want, but as soon as you use oil, that's it. You cannot use acrylics anymore, and you're done. Basically, the acrylic is going to work like a gesso, like the underpainting, and the oil is the real painting. And this is a nice combination. This is a very useful combination, and you might want to give it a try if you have some very specific needs. Basically, you don't need extra fine acrylics. You can use pretty much whatever. Make sure that it has a good texture, make sure that it's not too glossy or slippery, but usually acrylics has a very matte, sort of grainy texture. It's not slippery as long as you don't add any medium. If you need to add any type of acrylic medium to complement your acrylic in the painting, you should add a matte medium and not a glossy medium, because it's going to preserve a nice tooth to your surface, whereas a glossy acrylic medium would make the surface very slippery, which is not good. You want something to make sure that your paint will adhere well. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about oil painting and many techniques, you can check out my oil painting course. It's a 5 hours video guide on all the oil painting techniques that are essential to get started. If you're interested in all these techniques, you can check it out. It's very informative and it's going to help you out a lot. Thank you for watching this video. As always, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, hit the little bell button, and I'll see you for the next video. Until then, have fun painting. Bye.